pleasure to welcome you to the Ghost Adventures panel at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I am a senior writer with People magazine. I am a huge fan of the show, and like you, I'm here to celebrate 10 years of Ghost Adventures being on Travel Channel. As you can imagine, these guys have been through a lot. Like I said, I'm a huge fan. I have watched almost every episode more than once because let's face it, once you turn it on, even though you've seen it, you get sucked in again and you need to watch it over and over. I was lucky enough to go on an investigation with them in Utah in August. And all I can tell you, I've been doing this 20 years. It was one of the most intense, terrifying experiences of my life. I will be writing about it in a future issue, and you guys can check it out. But it's made me a fan beyond measure, and it has stayed with me, and suffice to say, haunted me. No pun intended. Okay, so for you guys, I want to make sure you know you can post videos, you can post photos. Please hashtag Ghost Adventures, tag Travel Channel, tag Ghost Adventures. There's a reason we tune in every week, every Saturday to hope and pray there's a new episode. Because these guys are the absolute best at what they do. From the evidence they've captured, everything, figures appearing on the SLS camera, objects moving by themselves, disembodied voices. You know, these guys, they've also been scratched, they've been pulled, they've been pushed, they've been touched. And they are the absolute best. And it's the reason we tune in because they want to face their fears. And thank God they're doing it so we don't have to. All right, so let's get to it. I want you to give the biggest welcome ever to the most amazing team on Travel Channel, Ghost Adventures. You've got the founder and lead paranormal investigator, Bagans.
Yeah! Investigator
Tolley. From the left, you've got AV Tech and investigator, Wasley. And in the middle, who I should say is a paranormal investigator and camera operator, but really he's the guy who wants Zach to lock in a really dark Dakota, Laden. He is a new member of the crew, and he's a camera operator, but he's already got some close Okay, so it has been a decade of Ghost Adventures. The success of the show is unparalleled. You guys have such a passion for the paranormal. Let's say that fast 3 times. This is something that really means a lot to you guys, and it's so fun to watch you, and it's so fun to watch you show us how scared you get, because that's really what we're tuning in to watch.
Scary.
Seriously. You guys have done some groundbreaking things, everything from the equipment you use to the different experiments you've done. You're always willing to face your fears, and we're very appreciative of that. But I want to go back to the very beginning, Zach. I want to, and I'm sure some of you have seen
That's
it.
a long time ago.
2004, you did the documentary called Ghost Adventures, and that led to the first Travel Channel episode in October of 2008. So tell us how on earth this all got started and how the show came to be.
I had an experience, and I think all of this for everyone derives from an experience that you can't forget. And Julie, you just opened up by saying that you came on an investigation with us, and it's still haunting you to this day. Soon I can't wait to share that episode with everybody, but you know, we all started and we had a curiosity for this. And the more experiences that you have, it just draws you in even more. And it becomes an addiction. But it's everything combined in one. You know, when we're out doing an investigation, it's traveling to a new location, it's being in this this new town with new people and discovering the history, and it's such a thrill for all of us. But Aaron, Jay, even Dakota, our new rookie over there. What's up, Dakota? He's fake. But yeah, right. But once we've been doing this for so long too, we've just developed this sensitivity. And it becomes a very emotional investigation for us. All these different spirits, the residual energy, through year after year, investigation after investigation, we start learning this, and we start developing this sixth sense even more. And I think that's what it makes us different and unique. And who you're looking at today on stage, and Billy over here, these are my brothers. We go through experiences that are traumatic. We have to be there for one another. We have to console each other. And while some investigations are dark and demonic and we're helping a family, other investigations are more light and funny. And we might do things like sword fight, right, Jay? We start our investigation.
I do want a rematch, by the way. I took care of that situation earlier.
But, since the very beginning, Julie, where we're at today, I'm so happy, I'm so honored, and to be here 10 years later in this environment with you moderating, with all our fans out there in the audience. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, and we're just getting started.
All right. So, Aaron, when you think about how you've grown over the years, how's your style changed? What do you think is different now?
We just keep getting better and better with more experience, more equipment, and the more we do it, we might have had a moment where we're like, no way! Now we're like, oh, no way. We just do it. It's just advanced so much over the time.
All right. And Billy, what about you?
Every single episode of Ghost Adventures is different. You know what I love about your show, Billy, and you're one of our close personal friends, is every episode is different with equipment, experiments, the stories, all of it. So there is no cookie cutter with our show. And I think the time that we take to do all of the reenactments to depict exactly what the interviews are telling, and the time that we take to set up cameras and do aerial shots and just give everyone a full view of what we're trying to explain in the stories is just, it's a pleasure to do that, and it's even more of a pleasure to watch it and be rewarded with all of our hard work.
And he watches a lot of evidence. We chain him in a room and he doesn't leave today. He's watching footage and evidence for, hours and hours and hours, and I say thank you for that, Billy. And for finding every little piece of evidence.
Good to be appreciative. All right, Jay, what about you?
I think it's amazing to see the evolution that we've all gone through. I think we've all evolved, and we just get closer and closer, and everything we experience, I think, tightens that bond we share, and it tightens our abilities to learn more and experience more and capture more as well. And I think the evidence just gets better and better. And I've said it a few times before that we experience things, and we've experienced scratches, being drugged, things flying, like all kinds of stuff. And then it's like, oh, what else could there be? And we go on an investigation, and just something else will just blow our mind.
Yeah. And
we never stop that passion. And I think that's what will probably keep us going for as long as we can, really.
All right, so I want you guys to talk us through an investigation. And I mean everything from what you look for when you are in a building, when you are sensing any sort of activity. How many cameras, gadgets, how do you guys put that together? And most importantly, how long does it take to put this episode together before we can see it?
It's a real tactical style investigation, and we've done so many. It's really making us better at what we do. It really is, and it's the experience. But the style that I have in particular is I like to just show up and just start interviewing. We don't follow any set agenda, plan, or script when we get there. I like we start with interviewing people, once these people begin telling us what happened, I listen to them very, very carefully, and I can start reading the emotion from them, and I can start gauging how actually affected they are from their experiences, and I can feel their emotions very, very strongly at this stage. And at that time, I look at my team, and everybody knows what to do, and we just take it from there. Our first interview leads us into an unknown direction. And from there, like Billy was saying, every single episode, every single one is truly unique. And that's why we're so excited to go investigate. From there, we want to really go deep with the history, try to find out exactly what may be the product of the haunting influencing what's going on there. And like I said, Billy was saying that they're so different, so it might be a family that's having problems with some kind of demonic infestation or just some type of an attachment, and that's so different from we're going to go visit an old ghost town, and we're just really researching the history and the past events that may have occurred in these actual buildings. But once we get a good bearing on what's going on, then Aaron, Jay, Billy, Dakota, we all start planning out what equipment we want to use to tackle this investigation.
Unique to that.
Exactly.
Different.
Yeah, and then we look for various hot spots and what experiments are we going to do there. And as we continue to evolve, we're really getting a better understanding of the equipment that we're using. And we work a lot with Bill Chappell, Gary Golga, some great engineers that design this equipment that we have chosen to be exclusive with because it just works so well. So that's what we do, and every single episode is just a new adventure, it's a new thrill, and it truly is an addiction. And right before we show up to film, I'll always get a text message from Aaron the day before. I can't wait to film. I can't wait. It's like I have a son on Christmas. All right, man.
So true.
But you know what? That's the most important part of this. That's the most important part about what we do is that we truly love what we're doing. We truly love working together, and we truly love helping the people that we're there to serve a true purpose for.
All right, as if you're a little behind the scenes when we were in Utah, Aaron calmed me down a little bit because I was trying to take really deep breaths to go into this very, very dark building. And Aaron basically jumped 3 feet, kept jumping, and calming himself down and just saying, I gotta go hunt. Which calmed me down, made me very appreciative of his energy. All right, now you just mentioned how important the equipment is. I want each of you to say what's your go-to piece that's given you the most staggering evidence that you've had so far.
Okay. It all is very different, but you know what? The one thing that I really like that seems to just turn the environment, I love the spirit box, and the spirit box has become like an extra appendage to me. And most recently, Aaron has really connected with this, and it's. We've examined this device, we've put it through different experiments, we've run it through waveforms on computers, we run through it at the same time to rule out radio interference while we're getting a response on one, the other one is silent, meaning that spirit is communicating with this one, but it's the intelligent responses that we get. And I remember one time when we did an investigation, it was in Texas. Do you guys remember that? The Swan Inn or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, there was this woman, and her mother recently passed in the house, and she said that her mother was there, her spirit was there, but she was a little skeptical of the spirit box. We did a few sessions, and the first 2 sessions we just shot blank. There was not a speck of voice. And I really love using the spirit box with different guests that we meet. I love for them to witness, see this happen. And she goes, I go, will you let us know if you hear the voice of your mother? And she says, you know what? Me and my mother had a code word that nobody knows. And Mom, if you can hear me, I want you to say this code word to me and to them. And I say this. And as we were doing this, her mother came through and said the word kosher. And she immediately hugged me. She began crying. She said, "Oh my God, that's my mother. That is our secret code word. We were supposed to go gamble in Bossier City a couple days after she died. And the spirit box has continued to perform like this. And Dakota, you did an episode with us, your very first one, when you won a contest. And right before you came in, we were allowing you to come in for like an hour. We got another one where Lavinia Fisher, I asked her to say the very first few words of what her last words were on the gallows. She says, "If any of you have a message for," and she goes, "the devil." So we have gotten too much intelligent response that I could talk for 2 hours on it. So I'm just shut up now. I just get excited when I talk about the spirit boxes.
The thing about the spirit boxes, it works better for certain people. It doesn't work very well for me.
Very true.
It doesn't. So I don't know if Zach is a better conduit for the spirits to use his energy in the box and air it to. It doesn't work well for me, but there's other things that work better for me and for Jay.
And that's a good point, though, because you have to do things in your body, you have to do things in your mind, and you have to connect to that device. That's correct.
I would say one of my favorites, which I think all of us kind of start with as our own bodies ourselves. Like, I think it's fun when you go into a location and you can kind of feel it out, and we've done it so long that you learn how your body reacts in these situations when you're around spirit energy. And we'll go to a place and we start feeling it, and then we start pulling out the spirit box and all these different devices to validate our experiences. And I love when that happens, when you can feel it and then you validate it on a piece of equipment is the best.
For sure.
Oh, I totally agree. First it starts with you, then the equipment comes along. It's kind of cool. It's like we all have our own Ghostbuster gear.
Aaron still wants that full compact.
I do. I so badly do.
Not using a protein pack.
Alright, well, I know over 10 years it is impossible to pick, and yet I'm going to make you anyway. What would you say is the piece of evidence that still haunts you to this day for each of you?
I'd say mine was No Man Bridge, where I got thrown 25 feet, and I don't know. I just kind of blacked out, landed, and I was all bloody. I had to get an MRI on my knee. Like, just to trip and fall is one thing, but to get thrown that far back and not even know what happened in that moment, that blew my mind.
Yeah, and I think I'll add to that, Aaron. That was one of the most disturbing experiences that I've ever had. And Jay, do you remember the spirit voice? When we did the interviews with the women, they said that this malevolent spirit, this evil spirit, identified itself as just a regular human name. Was it like Steve or something?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Steve. And even calls itself Steve. I don't know. But what I do know is that when we begin using the spirit box, Jay, we are very different. Jay has a very good knowledge of the occult, and he does a lot of research of that part, and that's why I love this team again, is everybody on our team adds something different. Everybody kind of has their pros, you know what I mean, of what they specialize in, and Jay's really into the occult and studying it, and that's so important when you do all these investigations, to have an awareness for that. So Jay, you remember doing a little summoning ritual under the bridge, and at that time we turned on the spirit box, and old Steve came through.
Yeah, I think that, what I was doing definitely stirred it up, and then just the activity went crazy from that point on. And I tried to warn you guys, you should come in the circle, but as soon as we left, that's when it got crazy. It definitely opened it up,
That was such a
Yeah,
moment with us.
That's one of those moments that is terrifying, but I do like those moments where all of us are just, we're on edge, the suspense is building, and that energy is there. Something is happening, something is here, and then we document the evidence to support what we're feeling, and that's so important what we do in all of our investigations.
It's like being scared when you watch horror movies. You hate being scared, but you still watch horror movies. Why do you keep watching horror movies and scare yourself? We do truly get scared. Then wait for the begin. Yeah, I know.
Billy, what's your favorite? Billy, what's your favorite?
The fear that we go through, we do it every episode. And You never know.
Billy, what is your favorite? What scared you the most?
The time that the only time that I've seen a full-body apparition that I really thought was a person that was intruding into our base when we were setting up at the frontier prison in one.
Oh, jeez.
It was only Jay and I inside the frontier prisons. It's a museum and it's a prison, so there are no people that can just walk onto the set. Jay's in front where the only door is, and I'm all the way back in the cell. And I look up and this man in black walks by with a flashlight, and I instantly thought that wasn't Jay. So I yelled at this man, "You can't be in here!" And I ran to where he was, and it was the end of the cell block. There's nobody there. And I know what I saw. And it was only about probably 30 seconds after that, I went back to the camera. I told Jay on the camera, and he was watching me, "Jay, I just saw someone walk by," and he goes, "Billy, that camera on the corner just moved, and it got flipped over on its side." That's giving me chills, just saying that right now. That's the most profound experience I've ever had, because I know what I saw. That's within probably 3 months. I saw a full-body apparition, and I didn't know what everybody else knew in the interviews was that the two other people that I interviewed saw the same person, which was a security guard that was murdered right there on that spot. I didn't know that anyway. I had no idea. When Zach told me, well, Billy, "Oh yeah, you weren't here for the interviews," 2 other people saw a security guard that was murdered here. So I saw a security guard.
Yeah, seeing the camera flip over probably made me jump like crazy. But I think one of the pieces of evidence that stick in my mind too is Zach. I don't know if you remember where I saw Billy and I both saw live from Nerve Center a rock lift up and go flying down a hallway and hit you in the foot in the Goldfield Hotel. And I think that was the first time where like I saw something like actually lift up and go flying, and it hit my foot. I remember that. we're all back at the hotel, and we're like going through it. We're all just like, "Oh my God, like this is like the holy grail. Like we just called this," and that was insane.
All right, well, we've got a clip of one of their best captures of evidence on the SLS camera. If any of you remember this, at the Yuma prison with the prisoners.
That was
Sorry. Sorry, guys.
Let's take a look.
There's 3 figures on the stage.
Wow. Looks like this one right here's playing a drum or something.
It's a band.
Another one, now there's a dancer.
There's a 4th one that was dancing.
As we begin mapping these 3 figures on the stage, it almost appears as if they're playing instruments. Then this 4th figure enters frame right, like it's jumping in to do a quick dance before walking off again.
Look at that one over there, dude. It's like playing drums in the middle.
Holy
They're on stage.
Dude, think about it. Just everything that Jay just said.
Look at the one on my guitar.
Look at this
Bro, he's playing a guitar. Look at the one on the right. Look at his arm. He's like strumming the strings.
Oh yeah.
See that? This one right here. He's strumming the strings of his guitar. That's so cool.
You wave to us, bravo.
Put your hands up in the air.
They got one of them to actually like wave and do a jig.
At the end of it, we all started to applaud. We're like, "Thank you." We kind of were like the audience, and I remember them bowing. Didn't they bow?
Yes, we
Yeah,
bowed.
they bowed.
I think they were more mad that we were cussing at them and not dancing. But that was one of those really cool moments. I'll never forget that.
Well, there's a lot of them over the last 10 years. Okay, so I want to give a little attention to Dakota over here. Zach mentioned he was a contest winner to go on an investigation with the guys and was a huge fan of the show before that. So now as a fan who is now a camera operator and behind the scenes investigating with his team, what's it been like? Have you enjoyed it? Is it crazy?
I mean, it's really fun. I love these guys. They're like my brothers now. But it's also scary as hell. I mean, it's just crazy going from a fan. 'Cause I used to watch the show. I watched from season 1, actually the documentary, and then season 1, season 3, and I would go and break into places, which is illegal, and don't do that. But now I get to work with them, and I get to see every day, and I get proof every day of the paranormal, and I've always had an interest, but I would say like being with the guys has really proven to me first of all, how legit you guys are, and then how legit paranormal is. It's pretty awesome.
All right, and if you had to give one quick tip to anyone out here who kind of wants to follow in your footsteps, what would you tell them?
Well, okay, this is going to sound cliche, but obviously follow your dreams because they can come true. Mm-hmm. And if any of you guys out there who are into social media, or not social media, graphics, or filmmaking, whatever, I would recommend using the internet as your tool because it's the best tool out there right now, and I think a lot of people overlook that. Yeah, right. That's what I did.
And you guys mentioned some of the more terrifying experiences you have. I'm going to focus in on Zach for a minute here and I want you to tell us one of your most, if not the most terrifying encounter you've had in the last 10 years.
Well, one of my most recent ones was here at the Haunted Museum, where we're going to be doing our Halloween live show this year. But I just want to talk about this one real quick, and then I'm going to talk about something that happened in Vicksburg. Sorry, for weird. I was recently. I had Post Malone come here to the museum, and he was doing a concert here in Vegas a few months ago. He came over here afterwards, and I don't know if all of you saw the episode he appeared on. He's an incredible investigator, and we were here at the museum, and we were just having fun, just hanging out as a couple of friends. And we were there for about almost 6 hours. And we began just hanging out, and then obviously we started investigating and things like that. And we let ourselves up to the dybbuk box room. And at this time, it became a couple of friends, and like, oh, I dare you to do this, or I dare you to do that. And yes, I ended up moving a detective case over the dybbuk box, known as the most haunted object in the world. And it is a very, very powerful item. And I didn't want to open it. I just wanted to take the case off. To make a long story short, we began hearing things. Things began happening in that room. And there have been hundreds of things happening in that room since I've been open the last year. We heard a little girl's voice, crystal clear. So Post Malone proceeded to very quickly run down the stairs, and I followed him. And we went back up. We want to go back up? Yes, we want to go back up. I don't know. You? Yes, I do. I don't know what. And we started doing that, and the tension started to get really high. We went back up again. We started feeling something. Something wasn't right. And it started affecting us here. And I remember putting my hand on the box. And at that exact moment, Post put his hand on my shoulder. At that moment, like something came through the box and into him. And I began shaking. I began trembling. And embarrassing. I began crying. I began screaming, and this is when he got me out of the room forcefully. And after we went downstairs, he saw a dark shadow figure outside. And the next day, he sent a photo of a massive bruise on his arm. And I mind you, Post is when we investigated with him, he was a great debunker, very, very smart. So that was my most recent terrifying experience. Do we have a clip of one of the other ones?
Yes, of course we do.
What do you want to play that, or do you want me to set it up first?
Why don't you set it up so that we can understand your fear? How about that?
Okay, yeah. Tonight actually is the premiere of one of our new mini-series, The Graveyard of the Pacific. I love doing these mini-series. Thank you, Travel Channel, for allowing us to do these. Culture, and we just spend a lot of time there, and I love that part of it. So we were in Vicksburg, and we were assisting a married couple, and they ran a hairdressing salon out of a very haunted building. Yes, that sounds like the beginning of a movie. And the man, when I interviewed him, he said, I had one of the most terrifying experiences of my life in this building, and it felt like he was going to die. And it sounded like a very, very dark detachment, possibly something demonic. And towards the end of the night, I went upstairs to this area where this happened to him, and I was with the guys. I wasn't even going to go up there because I forget who was investigating that, but I think it was Aaron and Jay. And at that time, I was just, using the spirit box, we were investigating, and I felt something. It felt like a knife jabbed into my spine twice. And it hit me so hard that something went into my spine. And it was the most terrifying thing. I don't know if anybody there remembers the movie Powder, where that guy had those abilities, and that there was that dead deer the guy just shot. He touched that deer, and he touched his arm. And that man, that tough hunter man, at that moment felt things of fear that he's never felt before in his life. That's what I felt, and it wouldn't get off of me. It was like the alien on top of my face, and I couldn't get it off of me. My heart began to beat so fast that I honestly thought it was going to beat out of my chest. And that for me still, and I tell these guys, it has made me a little bit more fearful to be by myself, so I sent Mary.
Thanks, buddy.
So if everybody wants to know, but you know what? That experience was absolutely terrifying, and I'd love to show it to you all in case you've never seen it.
All right, let's see Zach with all of his glory. Let's say that way.
What happened? What happened? What happened, dude? Zach, what happened? Dude, what happened? Please talk. What happened, man?
That's why these guys right here are my true brothers, because they're with us when things like that happen.
Yeah, well, and you guys make an incredible team, and it's nice that you have each other's backs, most definitely. Okay, so Paranormal Investigation 101. I would love for you guys to give some advice to this group here, because I've got a sneaky suspicion some of them might be interested in the paranormal. Maybe their house is haunted, maybe they bought some equipment. Me too. I think that this is a good opportunity for you guys to give them some advice if they want to start some paranormal investigations. And we're going to start.
Probably shouldn't say this, but I always say don't do it. It really has a torment on your soul after a period of time or at the location that it's at. But if you are going to do it, and go into it strong, know your history, know what's going on, know who's there, know what can attack you.
Yeah, and I think, what Aaron says is true for the most part. However, I think there's different levels of hauntings, and like what you said, Aaron, do your history is the most important part. Don't go to a place where people are known to have attachments, people are known to be attacked. Understand those risks if you want to open up that can of worms. So start out at, where's like a place, go investigate at a nice friendly, where does Casper mean? Right. No, but, like Dakota said, don't break into these places either. A lot of them have contaminants too. That's why I wear my respirator a lot of time. I have an allergy to a lot of this stuff. So please, if you go investigating, wear a little dust mask or something. But your beginner's equipment, I think, are best is get an EMF detector. I think it's really cool to start there and get an understanding of the environment and start learning how to debunk things. And I think that piece of equipment, go around, test it. I'm getting a spike here. There's an unexplained electromagnetic energy field right here. Then start trying to debunk it, seeing if there's something giving off that power near there. And I think that process of debunking things and getting an understanding of, hey, this can be explained or this is unexplained, that's a good place to start.
Digital recorders are a good place to start too.
I would follow up with that.
Because it's something everyone can record, it's something you can do, you can control your environment, make recordings, then listen to them. You might do 100 recordings and have no voices, but you might go to that one specific place at a specific time and get something that comes through.
And when you do get something, that really hooks you. And I know, Julie, your recent investigation, I don't want to give it all away, but towards the end of the night, we had a digital recorder, and Julie was sitting in the car because she was not allowed to go into this particular location.
Nice, you did.
And we actually, actually ran out of the house and shared an EVP with her, and I will tell you that this EVP, I tweeted about it, is the most unnerving, terrifying piece of audio that we have ever captured. True. And that is a big statement coming from me, and it was just awesome that Julie was there to actually hear this evidence. And that's here.
She went like this.
No, it was truly awesome. But again, if you start getting responses like that on a digital recorder, maybe go investigate somewhere else.
I think it's important to be patient too. This stuff doesn't always happen instantly on command. We've been doing it so long, and I think sticking with it. You might go out and try it out. If nothing happens, you might give it up. But it's a waiting game. You gotta go and try new things. Maybe one thing didn't work somewhere else, and you gotta try a different approach. Or maybe what didn't work at one location will work at another location. So it's about experimenting and trying and keep pushing it and don't give up. But then to add to what Aaron said, it will and could take a toll on you. So keeping yourself grounded, keep yourself surrounded in as much positive energy as you can definitely is the way to go.
I want to add something to that, and that is that when people watch our show and they see the investigation portion, which is about 22 minutes, that's 22 minutes of our best stuff, of 40 plus hours of media that I go through, condensed into 22 minutes. So people go, yeah, it seems like you guys always have evidence. Like, how do you get evidence? There's 39 hours and 20 minutes that nothing happened, or a piece of equipment didn't work. We don't show that. Why would you want to see something that didn't work? So patience, for sure. You have to have patience. You're going to be a paranormal investigator. Lots.
All right, so you guys heard, finally there are new episodes starting tonight. Called Graveyard of the Pacific. This is a treacherous nautical region, am I saying that right? Of the Pacific Northwest. And I need you to tell us what to expect because all of us cannot wait.
This is, have you all seen Goonies? Yeah! Aaron, give us a couple Goonies lines.
Hey, you guys!
So we went to film in Astoria, Oregon, and this is where they filmed Goonies. And I know that's a movie, but they go into the underground, they find all these different adventures, and it started happening to us, but the real version. I'm really drawn to the old nautical theme things and ships and the Black Pearl. No, we didn't investigate the Black Pearl, but yeah, there was just so many different layers in Astoria of all of this. In the Graveyard of the Pacific, there are thousands and thousands of shipwrecks. And, when I was a kid, I would have this recurring dream. And I was 2 years old, 3 years old max, and I still remember to this day. I was on an old wooden ship, there was a storm, there was men screaming, people holding onto ropes for their lives, the waves crashing. And I had that recurring dream, and it's weird. At 2 years old, do you really know that type of agony? Where does that come from? So I always thought maybe was it a past life? And I've always had this fear of water. So going there kind of relit that fear of when I was a child and that dream. But the complex, dark past of this area, from all the thousands of ships, the hundreds of lives lost, and then there was this really mysterious parallels with H.P. Lovecraft. And he wrote this novel called The Shadow or Intimate. And when he wrote that, there was these really interesting parallels to Astoria. And we started running into those. And we ended up meeting another production crew who filmed a movie there. And when they started filming the movie there, I think it was called Cthulhu, based on H.P. Lovecraft, all these H.P. Lovecraft things he wrote about started happening in real life in Astoria. A lady would come out of nowhere, this homeless lady, and start talking about people in the town that are really bad doing rituals, and there's these negative spirits underground, and all this just crazy stuff started happening, and it started happening to us personally. So we have 4 different episodes in this mini-series. Tonight we start out with Astoria Underground, and one of the access points was underneath a butcher shop, and And that's just a strange, we didn't even know we were going to go film at a butcher shop. It happened the day that we were filming, and that's the beauty of us, is the things that just happen out of nowhere. All our cameras are constantly rolling. This first episode of Story Underground was truly amazing, terrifying, and extremely interesting, and that kicks off tonight.
All right, and we got a clip as well of that.
An all-new Ghost Adventures 4-part series.
Yeah, we're rolling. This is just one of thousands of ships that were wrecked right out here. They still don't know the names of the bodies that washed up on the shores. Bad things are happening to the living.
Do you think that there are ghosts in Astoria?
I never lived in my house. There was no telling what is in the underground.
This demon is entering into your brain.
This one's especially nasty. Is it around here now? Yeah, it's right in the corner.
We don't know what lurks beneath the surface.
It's completely off from all here. What are you doing? Stop!
Hello? All new 4-part series, Ghost Adventures Graveyard of the Pacific, Saturday at 9 on Travel Channel, and download the Travel Channel app.
Questions, but first we have to talk about Halloween really quickly because it's a 4-hour live event at the Haunted Museum. I read on the release today that Zach, it said you might open the dybbuk box. Can you just say that's not going to happen? What on earth? What?
I know.
Over a year. Careful what you said.
Why?
The museum's been open for a year, but you got to remember that this museum is in an old historic mansion that does have documented a dark past back in the 1970s. It was known as a place where people would break in and do various dark rituals. That is known. And it's just, to me, it's still interesting how I was able to get this place and how everything kind of works into place like a puzzle. All these rooms, like I designed them and they all just seem to fit. All these items and artifacts came my way that just go perfectly in these rooms. And it's just mysterious to me. But in that 1 year of opening this museum, full of some of the most cursed artifacts in the world, in an already haunted home, we've had a lot of issues. And, I do have people sign a waiver before they enter inside. And, there's been so many different things that have occurred here, and some things that are quite disturbing. So there needs to be an investigation, and what better way to do it live with all of you watching. So we're going to be inviting some guests, we're going to be doing some incredible experiments, and we're going to be doing some things that are very dangerous. Yes, opening of the dybbuk box right now is planned. And while we're opening that, I'm going to have Bill Chappell here and some other guests that are going to be monitoring this event. And I really want to know and try to document evidence of what is surrounding this mysterious artifact. So there's so many other little things planned. It's going to be absolute insanity, but it's going to be really compelling and interesting what we do. So we're excited to do this Halloween night.
First look, Halloween episode for you guys.
Warning. Travel Channel will accept no responsibility for Ghost Adventures live events so shocking and scary that it could be hazardous to your health.
We are going to open the most haunted object in the world, the dybbuk box.
Be warned, medical conditions could be aggravated by this live lockdown.
What's wrong?
Ghost Adventures will premiere live. All new 4-hour Halloween event starting Wednesday, October 31st today on Travel Channel.
My first look.
I will be watching on Halloween. I'm in a blanket with all the lights on. All right, and just so you guys know, they have new episodes coming up November 3rd, I believe, and it's going to start on Marathon every Saturday. Saturday tuning in and getting to see new episodes, new investigations, so that we can really, really sink our teeth into what these guys are doing. All right, so we're ready for questions. If you've ever wanted to ask these guys, there are going to be microphones right here. And if you want to make your way to the microphone and stand in line, we will take some questions. Yep, let's get the line. Everyone, we're going to be talking to somebody else. So, at your microphone is yours.
All right, hey guys.
The nun, no.
My name is Jeff Jennings. I never really believed in ghosts until I watched your show. And my question is for Zach. What was it like coming face to face with that ghost and you talked about in the intros?
My very first experience?
Yeah, with that ghost
That's what
you talked about.
Yeah, that's what totally put me on this path that I'm on right now.
That's my first experience with it.
Yeah, it the moment that I began having that, it was a very personal experience because that spirit began calling me out by name. How did she know my name? Why did she know my name? What message did she want to deliver? And I always wanted to know more. And all I got was my name coming from her. And that message, I don't know if it was for me to be doing what I'm doing now, if it was something else, but the moment that I actually sat up in bed and looked at that spirit, I couldn't see her eyes or her actual facial features, but I could see where her head was. But that moment of just looking at that spirit changed me forever. And like most compelling experiences with the paranormal that people have, you never forget it. And I've never forgotten that. And I still want to go back there, and I've tried several times to get back in that apartment building. Maybe it'll happen one day. But that's one investigation that I really want to go back and do. And if I do, you'll be the first to hear it, and I will tweet all about it.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Hi guys, my name's Sophia. So I know you guys have traveled worldwide, internationally, and I'm just curious, has there ever been a particular city where you have just been able to feel the energy just from walking around in the streets? This is for all you guys.
I feel it in Romania a lot. I think Romania, just as a country itself, just has this vibe, this energy, the history. For me personally, you could feel it just getting off the plane, that you're literally in a whole other world. It was amazing.
I would say most cities are haunted, you just don't know it. Everywhere is pretty much haunted.
True. What about you guys over there? Far away.
I think one of the recent ones is Astoria. And walking through Astoria, it just didn't feel like the other towns that we've been in. There was something different about it. And I think that the geographic nature of it and the mysteries surrounding the water and how many bodies and human remains and deaths were taken by Mother Nature right there. I remember when we first showed up and we saw the power of this ocean. It was angry. It wanted to kill you. And you felt that. And it just put this charge in the atmosphere wherever we were investigating this mini-series. And I think that had a lot to do with the hauntings there. But I will say real quick, I want to say, while we were there, we got word of like this major earthquake that they predicted to happen there. And the entire time I was there, I had this little location device that I would carry around because I thought we were going to get hit with a tsunami.
Cool. Yeah, my Saturday night's just peaked. Thanks so much.
have two separate teams that work simultaneously. So while Aaron and all of us are working on the interviews, the actual investigation, we have a separate team that then I relay the information to them based on the interview material that I received. And I think it's really important for you, the viewer, to get a visual in the exact tone of how we perceive that information, even the emotions of how we receive that information. And by relaying that, one of these reenactments really gets you in that mindset of the tone that these hauntings are, that these stories are. And sometimes I think it's underappreciated. So I really appreciate you taking notice of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jordan, and my stepdad and I have been huge fans of the show ever since it started. And we've always wanted to ask one question, and this is for Zach. Why do you always feel the need to bully Aaron and put him in the scariest spots?
Because I love them. The way we show our love.
And I bring out an energy of fear, so that helps.
Aaron started as the most scared in the beginning, and he still definitely does feel that, but he truly is an incredible investigator, and very truly unique. And when you're around Aaron, or Aaron's in a room, he's gonna be the life of the party. He's gonna want to make people laugh or whatever. And I think that the unique energy that Aaron has, sometimes it's better left come alone. Sorry, Aaron. So I will continue to send Aaron on solo missions. Stop sending him on solo missions. And at times it's just funner to lock him in these missions.
Thank you guys.
I guess. I'm good.
It's not one of us, so it's Aaron can do it.
Thank you guys, and I'm sorry, Aaron.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nicole, and I just want to start off by saying thank you. Because early in my life, I saw spirit and thought I was crazy. And, you know, when you talk about it to other people, they don't believe you. And you guys are coming with hard evidence that can't be disputed. And I've been through your entire travels for the past 10 years, and I have seen, and I'm sure we can all say, that you guys have also grown in the way that you investigate. In the beginning, you were kind of like macho and like kind of a little bit aggressive, just a tiny bit. But now you're kind of mellow a little bit. So what's the change? And there are some times when you go to demonic places and you put on those macho pants again. But I like the sensitivity a little bit. So what's going on?
I think it's part of the evolution. You know, we've learned so much over the years. We've learned to kind of fine-tune ourselves, figure out what works, what doesn't work. And I think it's so important. Like, if there's a bully spirit and it's causing a problem, we're going to stand up to it and call it out. And, you know, but if it's a peaceful spirit, you're not going to do that. You know, we kind of try to do what works for the situation.
Awesome. You guys?
Yeah, I wanted to say something on this note, because I think this is real important for people to understand that when I got into this and used to go with these guys and was put into these different situations, I didn't realize how empathic that I was. I didn't even know what that was. I thought that everyone felt the same thing. They don't. There's certain people that feel things and certain people that don't. Over time, I don't know why I'm telling because I'm passionate about this. Certain people can feel your energy, and until you realize what that is, how many episodes could we done? Like 200. You get fine-tuned to be like, that's a spirit, that's an evil spirit, that's a human spirit. Yeah. And so there's been times Zach and I will go into a room investigating together, and I'll look at him and he'll go, there's nothing. I go, no, I don't feel anything, it's just a room. And then there's other times that we just give that look. We're like, there's something really bad in here.
We all love that look, by the way. We all love that look. It's about to go down.
Yeah. There's no denying it. There's just what I'm trying to say is we are equipment. Like Jay said, your body is your best equipment. It never lies to you.
And every investigator is going to be different. And yes, we have evolved. And I think overexposure that we've had to the spirit world and these different experiences, the most terrifying one, the most terrifying ones that you guys just saw in that video clip, that changes us. Every one of those experiences changes us. And I can't answer all these questions how or why, I don't know. We just feel it. We just feel it. And it's this connection that we have, all of us. And it's weird that I was telling you about my museum and how I do all these puzzle pieces with good. This team right here, these guys right here, when we're together, is this visible umbilical cord that we all connect to it. We all feel it together. It's changed us. You know, it really has. And I'm glad we changed for the better.
All right, we can do this for hours. I need to do it. I'm so sorry. This is the last question.
I wish it was a better one. First, I want to say thank you. I actually had my first paranormal experience in the Edinburgh vaults, which I only went to because I saw that you all had been there. It was, I can't explain it, and here I am. So thank you. My question is, Zach, in an earlier episode of the season, you were touched on the butt by a ghost. And you had specifically...
Remember that?
Yes, and you had said that it was a lady ghost. It was a female ghost. Aaron, you didn't seem to believe him at all.
I mean, he can think what he wants, but how do you really know?
So that's right. That was sort of what Aaron was saying. Is how are you sure? Zach, at the time you said, I can't tell you right now how I know, but I know. Can you tell us here and now how you know?
Because how did you know that spirit was a lady ghost that touched your butt? All right, I'm going to come out and say it now. I don't know. But I know I felt something grab my butt. And I recently had that happen again on an upcoming episode, and you'll see that. But thanks for that question.
Okay, so thank you guys so much for joining us today. I know you're just as excited as I am about seeing all these new episodes. Tonight, 9 p.m., the amazing Halloween episode. God forbid, Zach, do not